Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and this is your and this is Taylor's Detroit Sports episode 91 on Spreaker. Welcome. You can also find this and all other episodes of Taylor's Detroit Sports on iHeartRadio. Have any opinions on everything that's going on in the Detroit sports world right now, call in or send a text message live on the show at 231-429-3668. Also, you can add me on Facebook as Taylor Phillips, online at facebook.com/Phil1DT with 2 L's, the number 1. Like my Facebook page, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports page. Join my Facebook group, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports Group. And follow me on Twitter at DT, 2, Phillips with 2 L's. That's at DT2Phillips. Lots of stuff to get to. I'm going to talk about Pistons losing to the Wizards. I'm going to catch up on the Red Wings shootout woes and their injury update. And of course, Anthony Mantha returning. Also, the Tigers doing some interesting activity, interesting off-season activities. Plus a Lions injury update and analysis on their mistakes on offense. And finally, Michigan Wolverines athletic director Jim Hackett having a decision to make on the fate of football head coach Brady Hoke. Oh yeah, I had to entertain you on that one with that pause. First off, Pistons lose 3 in a row to the Wizards 107-103 in defeat. Brandon Jennings scored a double-double of 32 points and 10 assists. To lead the men in red and blue and red, while the Wizards were led by John Wall with 32 points at 27 points. At 11 assists. The Wizards scored 33 points in the second quarter to get closer in the game. They would take the lead in the fourth quarter and hang on to win. Rasul Butler scored 11 fourth quarter points, including 2 clinching free throws with 4 seconds remaining. For the Pistons, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope got 20 on 8 out of 14 shooting and 4 out of 6 from 3-point range. Brandon Jennings would finish 11 of 19. John Wall would hit 13 of 16 free throws to total up to his 27 points. Pistons now fall to 2-6 after losing 3 straight under head coach Stan Van Gundy. Oh yeah, it's only 8 games in this season. We gotta be patient, right?
That is not what I want to hear. What's your problem there, pal? Can't a guy get a bit of sleep? Don't bug me.
They should have been at least 6-2, maybe 7-1. With Stan Van Gundy on the bench, standing in front of their bench. Maybe 8-0 as well. .32 of their 39 rebounds the Pistons collected on defense, but there could have been more. At about the dying minute of regulation, Josh Smith either refused or failed to box out Paul Pierce, who made him pay for it by tapping it back to one of his teammates. And that's one of the things that Josh Smith could have done. To help his team get a rebound and maybe a chance to either tie it or win. Plus, there could have been more defensive rebounding than just that, and there. And for most of the game, I thought the Pistons' defense disappeared. I can read head coach Stan Van Gundy's comments. post-game comments for you. Quote, shots just didn't fall again tonight for us. It's tough. We show a lot of improvement down the stretch, but a couple shots didn't go for us. John Wall was just, unquote, quote, John Wall was just full speed ahead, out of control, throwing up stuff that really didn't have much chance of going in, and we kept fouling him. We were a little undisciplined there, but we had trouble getting back, which we shouldn't. He is fast as hell, but that's why you've got to get everybody back. It's exactly what put them back in the game, unquote. Van Gundy also spoke the morning of the game about the need to stick with the blueprint on faith even when results aren't in evidence, and said it would require incredible mental toughness to do so. He saw glimmers of progress despite the box score's inconsistence that the Pistons were held to just 18 points and 30% shooting in the final quarter, after scoring 34, 25, and 26 points in the first three quarters. He finally said, quote, I thought that we executed better, not saying we were perfect, but I thought we executed better. We got better shots than we had been getting in the fourth quarter. We didn't make some of them, but it's tough. I thought down the stretch we played a little better. We just didn't get it done. See, the fourth quarter had been a bugaboo for the Pistons last year when they had Maurice Cheeks and John Lawyer as head coaches for their team. Josh Smith has been a bugaboo for Pistons fans, understandably. He's made a lot of mistakes, and he usually struggles at his shooting, but he's improved on his shooting, obviously. If you have any opinions on the Pistons, just call me at 231-429-3668 or text me at 231-429-3668. I'm here live on Spreaker, Taylor's Detroit Sports episode 91, also on iHeartRadio. Pistons look to build a winning streak as they take on the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow night at 8. Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka, Bryant Westbrook, Russell Westbrook, I read an article from DetroitBadBoys.com on SB Nation saying Stan Van Gundy should receive some criticism. Well, that's better than hate, because criticism is very constructive and helpful. Because he's having a hard time trying to coach his Pistons to winning games. They also take on the Memphis Grizzlies at 8 on Saturday. Also, Andre Drummond got into foul trouble. He picked up 2 fouls midway through the first quarter. Then went to the bench with 3 fouls when 8 minutes remained in the first half, with 2 rebounds and 0 points. He is fouled out of 2 of Detroit's 8 games and already picked up 5 fouls in 3 others. A season ago, Drummond averaged 3.4 fouls and 32 minutes per game. This season, he was at 4.4 and 29 entering Washington. His shooting has also suffered. After shooting better than 60% of each of his first 2 seasons, Drummond shot just .420 through the first 7 games, which is obvious. Finished with 2 points and 5 rebounds in just 22 minutes. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope got injured. He was diagnosed with a knee sprain, but will be reevaluated after the Pistons return home Sunday night after their 4-game road trip. Stan Van Gundy said, quote, "We'll get him an MRI and go from there and see what's going on." That injury occurred when the Pistons were leading 65-59, and then the Wizards outscored them 18-3 over the next 8 minutes. Pistons' next home game is home. Pistons' next home game is on Monday against the Orlando Magic. They have Sunday off. And they welcome the Phoenix Suns into town on Wednesday, November 19th. Both home games are at 7:30, and they hit the road again Friday and Tuesday against the Hawks and Bucks, 7:30 and 8 o'clock. You can catch all Pistons games on the radio on Detroit Sports 1051 and DetroitSports1051.com. Allowed by copyright law officially. The Pistons are going to have to play 40 minutes of great basketball without Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. But let's move on to the Wings. I have lots of other stuff to talk about. Written by Bill Roos of DetroitRedWings.com, Shootout Woes Puzzle Wings. In his notes, the lack of scoring by the Red Wings in shootouts is puzzling, to say the least, which may have prompted the skills competition work toward the end of practice Monday at Joe Louis Arena. Assistant coach Tony Granato said, quote, "Lots of parts of practices you do breakaways and different types of shooting drills. That's one we threw in there today." Unquote. Detroit is a league worst 0-3 in shootouts this season, managing 1 goal on 8 chances. Since last season, the Red Wings are 5-12 in shootouts, scoring 12 goals on 59 shots, which is a 20.3% success rate. Granato said, quote, "It's obviously points on the table that you like to have. That's something moving forward we can get better at. I think we've got good shooters, we've got good goalies, so hopefully we can take advantage of that and figure out how to get some points out of that," unquote. I agree with Tony Granato. They do have good shooters, and they've got good goalies like Jimmy Howard, who had been struggling in the shootout. He has allowed 5 goals on 7 shots in 3 shootouts this season. That's one part of the key to every shootout loss. But since the introduction of the shootout in 05-06, the league scoring average is around 33%. The Red Wings aren't close to that success rate this season, as 6 different players have taken a shot, but only Gustav Nyquist has scored, beating Buffalo goalie Michael Neuwirth on November 2nd. He said, "You try to have a few different ones, different moves. The goalies scout you a little bit. If only you have one move, the goalies are going to know what you're doing. You try to have a few moves you can go to. You're hoping that will work out. We obviously haven't been able to score that many goals in the shootout. We've got to find a way to score." Henrik Zetterberg, Pavel Datsyuk, who again is a game time decision with a slight groin pull against the Chicago Blackhawks Friday night. Andrei Nestrashil and Darren Helm and Tomas Tatar are combined 0 for 5 in the shootout this season. Since 05-06, the Wings are 43 and 53, which ranks 24th in the league. Only Florida, Toronto, Ottawa, and Calgary, Philadelphia, and Carolina have fewer shootout victories. Detroit has scored 144 goals on 338 shots, 30.8%, while allowing 107 goals on 328 shots, 6.74 save percentage. Not good enough. Goaltender Jimmy Howard, who ranks 9th in save percentage with 700 flat and more than 150 shootout saves in his career, said, quote, you have to be comfortable, and right now I don't think any of us are. It's one of those things you can do in practice, but once you get 20,000 people watching it might get a little nerve-wracking. I don't know, I'm not a shooter. I can only imagine it's probably not one of the best feelings, unquote. And Stephen Weiss said, quote, in games it's a lot easier. All of a sudden you're on a breakaway, you don't have time to think about what to do. On a shootout you've got time. You might have a couple guys go before you and start second guessing your move. You just have to go in and shoot the puck, unquote. Stephen Weiss is on the verge of returning. from a groin injury. He fully practiced in team drills this past Monday. He suffered 2 sports hernia surgeries and a setback while on a rehab assignment with the Grand Rapids Griffins. Speaking of Grand Rapids, Anthony Mantha is ready to make his AHL debut with the Griffins tomorrow night. It's Friday night. Also, Pavel Datsyuk is a game-time decision with a sore groin. Remember, the Wings had 4 days off. Now they play the Chicago Blackhawks at 7:30 on Fox Sports Detroit, and 97 won the ticket in Detroit. WXYT-FM. Also, Tomas Jurco is going to return to the lineup against Chicago tomorrow. Little notes on the game matchup between the Wings and Hawks. Last season, the Wings and Hawks split their season series, with the Red Wings winning a thriller in a shootout at Joe Louis Arena and then losing in regulation later in the year in Chicago. The Blackhawks have the number 1 penalty killing unit right now, 91.7%. The Red Wings are still near that. Somewhere their penalty killing unit. Still, although it's a bit sluggish as of late. Each team has registered 11 power play goals this season. Gustav Nyquist being the leading scorer with 8 goals in 15 games. Said matchups like Fridays, like the Blackhawks game is like a chess match. Fun team to play against, good speed, allows skilled players. They want to play an offensive type of hockey. They move the puck well, and their whole team skates real well, so it's going to be a good matchup for us, a good measuring stick. We think we're a fast team this year, so it's going to be fun with 2 teams with a lot of speed. I've taken up a lot of time. Let's move on to Red Wings also play the Canadians at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Detroit Sunday and on 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit and the Red Wings Radio Network. On to the Tigers now. That they've re-signed Victor Martinez to a 4-year, $68 million deal. This past Wednesday night, early evening, and then later that night, they traded top prospect second baseman Devon Travis to the Toronto Blue Jays for center fielder Anthony Gose. I would say I like the Victor Martinez re-signing better than the Gose trade. We need Victor. He's a dangerous hitter, and nobody else could have matched it. No other team could have matched the Tigers' offer anyway. For the Gose trade situation, we traded Dave Dombrowski mistakenly traded away another great top prospect in Devon Travis. Same way he did this past season before the trade deadline when he traded Jake Thompson and Corey Knebel for Joakim Soria. Soria is a really good relief pitcher, but Anthony Gose is also a good center fielder and a great base runner. He has hit .234 last season, which is not good enough, but I know he can, hit a bunch. That's a bit better than 200. I'd say 234 is average, to say the least. Most Tiger fans wanted Melky Cabrera, including Andrea Pissarro from Raleigh, North Carolina, via Grand Blanc, Michigan. A Michigan sports supermodel. I want to get your opinions on the Red Wings and Tigers as well. Call me or text me at 231-429-3668. That's 231-429-3668. There's also been talks about a trade involving catcher Alex Avila, and the Atlanta Braves and Boston Red Sox may be interested. I want to get your thoughts on that. Well, we have the defense, but we need even more offense. Avila was terrible against left-handed pitching, especially. And I think he has also suffered a lot of injuries. Worse injuries than he's received than any other Major League Baseball catcher has. Everyone that covers and loves the Tigers say that Max Scherzer is probably gone. A lot of people. And I can understand that. That's a very telling money situation. Plus their bullpen issues still need to be resolved, and there's still time. But if Dave Dombrowski doesn't And Dave Dombrowski said he was going to address the bullpen as well. But if he still doesn't do that anytime this postseason or anytime soon, he'd have to be shown the exit door and get fired. Because this is a win now team. I have a Lions injury report. James Ahedabaugh missed practice earlier today with a back injury. But tight ends Eric Ebron with a hamstring and Joseph Fourier with an ankle injury were full participants for the second straight day this Thursday, making their availability for Sunday's game against the 8-1 Arizona Cardinals a near certainty. So, Brandon Pettigrew also participated in full practice Wednesday. And I'll bet he practiced Thursday as well. There's no update on him, so I think he's good to go. But the offense has to cut down on their mistakes. But Reggie Bush could be shut down, their running back, until he's fully healthy. He has battled reoccurring ankle injuries throughout the year. But head coach Jim Caldwell says it's time to rest him until he's fully healthy. And I think it's a good idea. And as much as it hurts for me to say it, I think it's a good idea. But to the article, Justin Rogers, it's on MLive.com, the offensive mistakes. Detroit finished with 20 points. The team hasn't scored more than 24 since the season opener, when they scored 35 on the New York Giants on opening night at Ford Field, on opening week, should I say. After reviewing film from the Dolphins game, offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi of the Lions said his group still has plenty to clean up. He said, quote, we had some explosive plays, but we need to do better on third down than we did this past Sunday. We need to convert more red zone opportunities into touchdowns. We hurt ourselves with some penalties that put us in some tough situations. I think everybody watches film and says we could have been better. It's just a matter of getting the consistency where you're not having as many of those plays where you're not saying what if. Detroit went 3 out of 12 on third downs. That's unquote. Detroit went 3 out of 12 on third downs, well below the team's season average, and scored a touchdown just once in 3 trips to the red zone. Theo Riddick's game winner. Craving Theo Riddick. Twice, the Lions settled for field goals, one of them which was blocked and ultimately result in a 10-point swing. The Lions committed 6 penalties on offense, multiple which directly led to fourth down situations. Combined with 3 sacks taken by quarterback Matthew Stafford, and the team found itself swimming upstream too often. Stafford said, "Yeah, we were shooting ourselves in the foot. We had too many penalties in all phases, really, offense, defense, special teams, whatever it was. You do that to yourself, you have 10 for 96 yards, 10 penalties for 96 yards. It's going to be tough, and you're going to make it hard on yourself all day. Against a defense like that, it's just going to be tough. The drives that we didn't have penalties or negative plays were successful," unquote. Not beating yourself has been a point of emphasis for first-year Lions coach Jim Caldwell, but surprisingly, the team is averaging more penalties than last season. He said there are too many, quote-unquote. They just have to overcome that. We have to be more consistent in that area. That's one of the areas that they have to improve upon. It's bogged them down, showed them down and in particular. And when they go from 1st and 10 to 1st and 20, those are difficult to manage and overcome, unquote, quote-unquote. And I think everybody agrees with that. One more thing before I sign off. Michigan Wolverines Athletic Director Jim Hackett, former Steelcase CEO, will wait on the decision on football head coach Brady Hoke. Written by Stephen Lawrence from Wolverine 24/7, the Michigan Insider, at Wolverine 24/7 at Michigan.247sports.com. In his first public comments since taking the interim athletic director position at Michigan, Jim Hackett discussed the current situation with head coach Brady Hoke to Grand Rapids TV station Wood TV 8, WOOD TV Channel 8. In Grand Rapids. Hackett said, quote, "We have a football coach, and I've really had good discussions with him about what it's like to play through adversity and coach through adversity. Brady's a man of extreme integrity. The players love him, and he knows more than any of us that we're not performing at the level we should as a Michigan program," unquote. Hackett refused to put any kind of timetable on Hoke's status with the program and says he's going to wait before rushing into judgment in either direction. He said, quote, "I'm putting that question off until the end of the season, rooting for them, and I'm totally behind them, and I'm really happy since I've been on the job. We're 2-0, quote unquote. Jim Hackett's been very good luck to the Wolverines. They have their second bye week this week, before taking on Maryland at the Big House in Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. And that game starts at, to be decided, either noon or 3:30 Eastern. No television channel announced yet. So that's going to do it for Taylor's Detroit Sports episode 91. I'll be back for episode 92 after the Red Wings and Pistons game. TTFN, ta-ta for now. And thanks for downloading and listening.